Hey, just waiting for some of you great content creators to come here. I am just out here enjoying the bush, focusing on shelter and firecraft or fire pit. I'm just gonna wait to see if anyone comes in. It's a chilly one out here. I'll give it a few minutes. Yeah, I'm sitting next to a nice warm fire. Much needed. Yeah, today I wanted to focus on I made a Baker tarp shelter which resembles the Adirondack tarp shelter very much. But I think the Baker tarp shelter is a little more efficient weather-wise. I'll show it to you when some individuals come in. But I practiced that shelter because that is the next shelter that I plan on doing an overnighter in. So, yep, I don't know if everyone may be watching the football games. I know, oh man, this heat feels so good. Oh gosh. The heat feels so good, you know. But yeah, I came out here to do that. To really focus on that Baker tarp shelter. And another thing I wanted to focus on was the fire pit. Let's see, I don't know if okay, the mic is on. Just gonna wait here and see who comes in while I sit here in the cold, but I am enjoying the fire. Hey, how you doing, man? Rajaran? I'm not sure, but Rajaran. Hey, man, thanks for coming in. I definitely appreciate it. Yeah, I am from Northern Virginia. How about you? I don't know if the M stands for Maryland, but I am in Northern Virginia, where they just allow you to come out into the wildlife management area. Hey, how you doing, man? Thanks everyone for coming in. I definitely appreciate it. Hope you guys had a great holiday and so forth. Jahangir, I don't want to butcher anyone's names, but I definitely see the names and I appreciate you guys coming in. But as I was saying earlier, I'm really looking at. I think when bushcrafting. What are you doing? I am. I'm see. It's ATV boys. I am concentrating on making a Baker tarp shelter and a fire pit. Because the Baker tarp shelter, as I said earlier, it resembles the Adirondack tarp shelter a lot. But I think the Baker tarp shelter is no, not Indian. Yeah, probably because all the stuff I have on, man. It's cold. It's like 21 degrees, you know. But okay, man, you take it easy. Thanks for dropping in. I appreciate it. But yeah, the Baker tarp shelter. Hey, KL, salute, bro. Thanks, appreciate it. The Baker tarp shelter is a little bit more efficient, I think, than the Adirondack tarp shelter. And I don't know if you can see it from here, but that's it right there. That's my fire that's going out, but that's the shelter. So that's a shelter that I'm going to use on my next overnighter. But what I'm really focusing on now is basically shelter, fire. You think in bushcrafting, you must be a master of fire. Starting the fire, you're not afraid of. No, I'm not afraid of the wild animals, especially because it's still daylight here. And whenever I do just a day to come out and practice, I leave before dark. It gets dark here around 4:35. But the good thing is, I'm only about 200 yards from my vehicle. And when I come out into the bush, I always practice using a compass. Even though I know directly where my car is, like I came in at South 215, and I'm going to be going out at, what is this, north? I think this is north 20, 30, 32, 34, north 35. Yeah, I came in at South, that's 200 to 4, yeah, about 215. So I go out, again, just using the compass. It's a great tool to have. Hey, Hoogie, how are you doing? I hope all is well. Hope all is well. But yeah, that's what I'm really concentrating again on shelter. Very important. But also something that I'm seeing that is absolutely a must. It's fire, because in the bush, fire is the heart of bushcrafting. Hey, Coffee, how are you doing? Thanks for joining in. I definitely much appreciate it, and hope all is well. All is well with you. But fire, you must master fire. This fire here, I'm just standing here until it goes out. Plus, it's just so cold here. But being able to start the fire, I started the fire today with I think they're called tinder fires, and I used a ferrocerium rod that came with this knife. This knife is a Jungle King, and it's made out of German surgical steel. And I did a video on survival knives, so I wanted to bring this one out today. I'm gonna tell you, I really like this knife. One thing about the tanto point. I mean, this tanto point is for piercing very hard or difficult material or objects. And it does have a saw blade, which I did do some sawing. I can make notches out of it really easily. And it has a very good jimping. So with this jimping here and this fantastic finger guard, man, you got the grip. And it has jimping in the back. So when you want to do a reverse grip, fantastic. And I always put a lanyard on everything that I have, to give me that extra grip. So I wanted to use this today, and I did a lot of splitting wood, and also split wood today with my hatchet. I just like, I will not come into the woods without a hatchet or an axe. And this is the saw I used today. I wasn't going to do much. I didn't do much sawing. So this is the saw that I used today. A Corona, 10-inch. Cuts on the pull only, but it's a great saw. It's a great saw. I have a few different saws, and I choose to bring this one out today. And I made my fire pit. This is a cold steel shovel. It's very good because you can actually cut with these edges. So I made the fire pit with this, and if the handles were to ever break, you can always replace it. Here's a screw right here, and of course with your multi-tool. But I don't anticipate this thing breaking. I mean, this is just, hey, Bug Out Adventures, Happy New Year's to you. Thank you for dropping in. I definitely appreciate it. But yeah, so these are the tools that I used today. Again, to make a fantastic fire pit. Again, the fire pit is like 12 inches deep. It's maybe 3 by 3. And I took all of the dirt that I excavated and made a berm around the fire. And I did that because while having a berm, it's going to help keep embers and flames in. It just helps you control the fire much more. And plus the berm will give you more heat because it's blocking the wind. But so that's what I did. But since I had done a video on survival knives, I wanted to use this. But guys, yeah, 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 you're right, priceless. But guys, when you get a chance, check out Tops Anaconda knife. That is the next thing on my list. Tops Anaconda knife. I think it has like an 11 or 12-inch blade, Tonto style, and it has a sawback. And like I said, I did use this sawback today. Hey, the Celtic Grandma, how are you doing? Coffee first. Hey, yeah, I did use this saw today just to make a notch, just as a quick demonstration. But I split a lot of wood with this today, and I just wanted to use it. But I wanted to show you the sheath itself. I don't know. Let's see the sheath. It has a nice little pocket that I have a lighter. I have a file, a sharpener, lighter and matches, and a file. And it also has a leg lanyard that I can tie so that it's not flapping around. So it's definitely a survival knife. And with the paracord that's on it, I can attach other things to it. So again, this is a survival knife. But when you're in the bush, any knife you have is a survival knife. And again, this may look like a $10 Rambo knife, but this is German surgical steel, a very hard steel. And I like the finger grip, how much it just fits so well in there. One thing about a knife, when you put it in your hand, you want to feel comfortable. And one reason, again, I can take this knife, if you notice these holes here, and I can actually make a spear out of it. So when you say survival knife, it encompasses a lot of things. So, but yeah, this is the knife I brought. What I'll have out next week, I don't know. But again, if you guys get a chance, check out Tops, T-O-P-S, Anaconda knife. That is the next knife on my list. So, but yeah, I came out here again. I was real concerned about, the fire. Another thing that's going to be really, really interesting. And again, I say three things that are a must. It's not. I don't think it's okay. It's okay, but you want to master. You want to master without question making a fire. That the heart of bushcrafting is the fire. That fire is going to bring that warmth. It's going to provide you with light at night. You can cook, purify your water. It's going to help keep predators away. So the fire. And the next thing, okay, definitely the shelter, but the fire and the water. They say the 3-minute rule, we can go 3 minutes without air, 3 days, 3 hours in harsh weather, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food, 3 months without communication with a human being. But I think when it comes to water, and of course I brought my water with me today, but as I explore and go out to different areas, I'm not going to be carrying, huge amounts of waters because I'm going to have my trip mapped out and I'm going to know where water is. So I'm going to have to source that water. Basically, I'll take something like this and put a bandana over it. To help keep some of the debris out. And this is I just keep this near the fire. But I'll take that water and I'll probably run it through a mini Sawyer and filter it again. And then I may even put aqua tablets in it to purify it and still boil it. You should boil your water at least 10 to 12 minutes. So again, so I'm thinking definitely shelter. And the thing about shelter, of course, I bring my shelter with me. Hey, Gertrude, how are you? But I bring my shelter with me. But let's just say you're out one day. I don't think I would ever come out without having a minimum of a 5x7 grabber tarp. But let's just say you don't. You can make a debris shelter. You can make a debris shelter if you just are able to get a a limb that is about 2 inches thick, maybe wrist size, and let's see if it was if these were two trees. If you could take the if these were two trees and this was the branch, by putting this right into the branch, and you could have it at a 45-degree angle, or you could put the other end into another tree and use this. This would be the spine of the debris shelter. And once you have that spine, again, by just putting this through two trees, this being the spine, these being the trees, putting them through there. This is at a 45-degree angle. Hey, Bougie, how are you doing? Thanks for dropping in. This is at a 45-degree angle. Then you're going to put, let's see, you're going to put, let's say these are also limbs, and this being the spine, you're going to just stack these at a 45-degree angle. Here, 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 and here. And then you're going to get some foliage. And you're going to take, foliage is, of course, it's just basically greenery. And you're going to have it going at a downward angle, because if rain hits it, it's going to run down. And you just fill that with foliage. Hey, bug out. Thank you. Yeah, you fill that with foliage and then just pack it with leaves, at least 4 inches. So you can build you a shelter even if you don't have a tarp with you. Now, I've done that before, but what I want to do is do it again to perfect it, because I want to get into making shelters out of just nature, just with the what's out here. But you know, again, even when I hunt, I'm always bringing a 5x7 tarp. So again, I mean, you know, even though we look again, the 7 things that you really look at, and I think things are built around them: the shelter, your fire, your water, your food, your first aid, your navigation, and your signaling. Having some type of something bright like a bandana or something like that. And to me, I think everything is built off of that, you know. And then, you know, having the proper tools. I know some individuals that said sometimes they don't have a need for an axe. And I can see that. I do have some tools that I would bring and I would not need an axe. But you just have to practice with those tools, you know. But I am a fan of always bringing a hatchet or an axe, a saw of some kind, and a knife. Because even if I don't have a shovel, I can use this for digging. May not want to, but I can. You know, you can use a hatchet for processing your food. You know, if you were to harvest a squirrel or a rabbit, and if you didn't have a knife, if you learn these skills well enough, you can even harvest your food with that. Now, but this is just a hatchet. This is just a 13.5-inch hatchet. I do have larger ones, but today I wanted to try. Hey, All American Prepper, how you doing, man? Took by. How are you? Yep, it's an S-wing. I'm gonna tell you, I really like S-wings. It's hard for me to get away from the S-wing because it's all metal. The thing I like about the S-wing, I don't ever have to worry about the head becoming loose. It may weigh a little bit more, but it's an S-wing. I wouldn't trade it for the world. Now I do have other axes. I have one which really surprised me. I was out of town once and I wanted to do some bushcrafting, and I didn't have an axe or a hatchet. So I went to a big box store, and bought a hatchet, and that thing is performing wonderfully. Arkansas, how are you, man? Thanks for dropping in. But that hatchet performs wonderfully, and I just purchased. I haven't brought it out yet. It's a marbles. Oh, yep, fire's going out. It's a marbles bearded axe. And I'm going to bring that out. I just haven't had a chance to do that. I like the bearded axe because, well, you'll see it. I did a little short on it, but I just like it. Honestly, I like it because of the aesthetics. I think it is a awesome looking hatchet. But yeah, man, the cutting tools are a necessity. Of course, I always carry a pocket knife with me. Um, you know, this is just a gas station knife. Now, I'm sure it's not the greatest metal, but this has serrated edges. I am a fan of a knife with serrated edges because these things feather stick really well. And the thing is, if you just keep your knife sharp, you know, this is a pocket knife. It's a folder, not expensive. I think at the time I bought this was like $10. So it was some time ago. But I have a few of these. But, I do like them. I mean, they do everything that I want them to do. You just don't try to bend it. Worry about the tensile strength because you will in fact bend it. This knife is strictly for slicing, carving, emergencies. It's not advisable to baton with it, but if you have a folding knife and you don't have a fixed blade, you can actually baton with these knives by just turning the blade this way and taking your baton and hitting it because you don't want to put the pressure in the joints here. It's not advisable to baton with a folding knife, but you can. I have not, but I know, but I'm never going to come out in the bush with just one pocket knife. That's just not going to happen. But so yeah, this is just something I look at like self-reliance, coming out in the bush, self-reliance. I am so looking forward to doing, I really, with 2025, I'm really going to try my best to get out at least once a week. I think that you can practice and practice and practice and at home, and that's wonderful. This shelter that I built today, this is the fourth time that I've done it because when I come out here for an overnighter, I don't want to be fumbling around. So again, let me just show it. That's if you guys can see it there. But so that was definitely just practice for me today. And the fire pit, you can see how deep it is. I hope you can. That fire pit is like 1 foot deep. And again, I took all the dirt that I removed, put it around the fire pit, which made it taller. So yeah, I don't care. You don't care for fixed blades. Okay, I mean, a lot of people don't. A lot of people, some people can do things with a fixed blade just as well as someone that's using I mean, someone can do things with a folder just as well as someone that do the same thing with a fixed blade. But I just like fixed blade because there are no moving parts. I don't have to worry about anything breaking. The thing about a knife, if a knife is going to break, and you baton it a lot, the knife is going to break probably right in this section here. That's because you're holding it here and you are batoning with it here. So you're putting stress in here. But if you have a good knife, it's not going to happen. But that's what I have learned. I want to fix to complement my folder. Okay, yeah, that's great. That's great. I just, I just like fixed blade knives, and I think I only have two knives that had a tanto. As a matter of fact, my backup knife that I am carrying with me. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go get it. Hold on 1 minute. Okay, I always bring a backup knife, whether it's a Scandinavian grind or anything. But my backup knife today, another Jungle King, much smaller. And I have used this to really make a hammock for notches, making notches. So I don't ever come into the bush with just one knife. I'm always going to have a backup. So these are the two that I brought with me today. I've used both of them extensively. Let's see. I love this man. He really puts in the work. Yeah, all American prepper. It's true. I think with bushcrafting, I think if you look at basketball players, football players, tennis players, bike racers, so on and so forth, what do to get to that level? They practice. So I mean, it's only so much time in a day or a week. So, and I think bushcrafting is one of those things that it takes a long time, because there's just something, I don't think it's just something natural that we do. I think, I don't know. I don't know. I've met a lot of bushcrafters. Um, One of my folders doesn't lock. Okay, I use it for a specific task so I don't get fold. Yeah, but the thing for me with the folder, I definitely understand what you're saying. But with a folder, I'm never going to just use it for stabbing. This is basically open boxes. I'm in a hurry, slicing. So the pressure is always pushing back, not forward. Because even though this is a liner lock, as you can see right in here, liner lock, and that closes. Spring assist. So I'm not going to trust it, putting force, even though it has a smaller finger guard. This knife, again, for me, it's like opening boxes, even mail, something like that. But I will use it. I have used this to make a decoder fire. Again, $10 years ago. So just stick, when you make a decoder fire, you have two holes. You have a fire pit, and then you have an oxygen tank. And those two holes at the bottom, you have a canal. And I use this to make the canal, because the air comes through the oxygen tank to the fire pit. So I've done that before. I have some videos on it, and I'm going to do it again because, again, I want to perfect everything that I've done and continue to learn. So, but it's a blast, guys. For me, I mean, just getting away from. I mean, the holidays just have been here. We have company. We're glad to see our guests and relatives and so forth. And then it's like, well, when they're gone, oh, it's quiet. The house is quiet. So I'm headed to the bush. So, and I understand we're supposed to get some snow tonight and all day tomorrow. And I've never bushcrafted in the snow. And I know I won't be out tomorrow. I'm really trying to make sure that I get out at least by next Saturday or Sunday, because I mean you can always find things to do. There's just so much to do, but I'm definitely going to be getting out again. Oh, thank you, All American Prepper. Yeah, I just came. I don't know. I talk about this a lot, because I really enjoy it. But going to meetups and to meet other bushcrafters, that's another thing. I mean, there are a lot of meetups. The only thing about meetups, you have to travel, which is fine, but you learn a lot from just hanging around other bushcrafter like-minded individuals. I mean, some of the things that you do and you see them do it, it's amazing. It's just like one guy that I've been watching, Grandfather Outdoors. That guy can make a tarp out of. I mean, he can make any type of configuration out of a tarp. And one thing I learned from him, as long as you have 3 points of contact on any tarp, If it's a 5 by 7 or a 10 by 10, 8 by 12, as long as you have 3 points of contact with the ground, you can make some type of configuration. So, those are the things that you learn from just watching other content creators and just communicating with them. It's just a lot of fun. But really, I really, really want to step up my game and start doing some, staying in the bush at least 2 nights. For me, staying in the bush by yourself, it's fun, it's work, but again, it's fun. Because for me, I must have a fire all night long. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. Which means I have to harvest and process a lot of wood. Now, once a fire is started, I don't want it going out until I'm leaving. Now, this one's going out because I'm going to be leaving soon, but I want it to go out because I'm even going to put water on it. But so that's going to be a challenge, but I don't know. Maybe I try in the summertime. But the thing about it, when I do overnighters and I'm up every hour, I probably sleep maybe 15 to 20 minutes an hour, and the rest of the time I'm up looking at that beautiful fire, listening to the crackling and the popping, and then you got to restoke it. Now, a lot of people may think, well, you have a lot of wood, so you don't have to worry about the fire. Yes, you do, because the more coals, for me, the more coals that are developed, the faster that wood burns, and you can put where I am, any piece of wood you pick up is going to be damp, and once you throw it on there, that wood dries so quick. When I used to camp, we kept a fire going at night for different reasons. Yeah, mosquitoes. Yeah. Hey, Pilgrim, thanks for dropping in, bro. I definitely appreciate it. Yeah, but I keep a fire going for number one, for warmth. Number two, predators. I don't. I've heard that a fire will not stop a bear. Probably not. But I just think that any animal does not want to come near a fire because I sleep 3 feet, 3 to 4 feet away from the fire. I sleep on a bedroll, especially in the wintertime. I'm on the ground. In the summertime, warmer weather, I just make a hammock. I've made hammocks just out of wood and paracord, and I'm going to do that again. These hammocks were very, very sleepable, very, very comfortable. So I'm going to do that again. But I think the thing about when you come out for one day and you practice what you practice, next thing you know, it's time to pack up. But that is why I came out again to do that Baker tarp shelter. Because when I come out the next time, it's going to be a snap. This Baker tarp shelter, you can use poles or you can use ridge line. You learn that you have choices in making it. But with three sides in the back, that's going to accommodate at least two people, one person with their gear. That's more than enough room. It's a great base if you're at a campsite with numerous people. Having that Baker tarp shelter, it's a nice base. It's going to provide you with shade. It's going to keep rain away. Even with the apron that goes over it, I have a little. It's called a twig stove. I can take the twig stove and put it under the apron. Um, any amount of fire will keep you warm. Even if you huddle up around it. So yeah, that's something that I'm interested in. But the Baker tarp. I think there are a lot of good Baker tarp shelter, Adirondack tarp shelter, the Plow Point. Uh, I think one it's called it's a tactical. It's a shelter, stealth shelter. There's so many configurations that I've made a lot of different configurations, but you just can't think of them off the top of your head. But you will know the um the best ones. You'll get some favorites. You will get some favorites. Um, Lack of sleep and keeping that fire going. You know what? But that's what you have to do. You're by yourself, self-reliant. If you want to fire all night, you're going to have to, I'm going to say, work. Uh, that's my experience. I mean, I've seen a lot of YouTubers stay up overnight. Uh, some of them have kept a fire going, some of them haven't. They wake up, the fire's out. I don't want to wake up and the fire's out. So I remember I did a overnighted with another friend of mine a couple of years ago, and it was like clockwork. Fantastic communication. We never said, okay, bushcrafter, you're gonna wake up this time, you're gonna wake up that time. We never said that. We just knew that when we went to bed, every hour, one of us getting up feeding that fire. We harvest a lot of wood, and it was just, I mean, it was just great. Um, and that's just, and I think when you have more than one person, in my opinion, you should be sleeping close together, having one fire, someone on this side, maybe here and there. And if you take turns rotating, feeding that fire, and if you have more than 3 people, it's a good idea for someone to be on guard or security from 12 to 2, the next person 2 to 4, the next person 4 to 6. Um, that's my thinking. But when you're by yourself, all of those hours are on you. And like I said, I've done it by myself. I'm gonna say maybe times, but I don't mind it. I just know that's just self-reliance. Yeah. My favorite knife. My favorite knife is Becker BK21. Becker BK21. It is a kukri knife. I think the blade is about 14 inches. It's a saber grind. I've been wanting that knife for so long that, hey, prepared Irishman, how you doing? I have been wanting that knife for so long. When I first saw it, I think it was like $122. Pass it up, man. That's too much money. Next year it's like 135. I still didn't want to. I didn't want to pay them much. I'm going to find it cheaper at a show or something. Then it was like 145. Next thing I know, I think when I bought it with shipping and everything, it's like $175. But $175, I'll never regret spending. The Becker BK2. Becker BK21. Now I do have a Becker BK2. That is a monster knife. As a matter of fact, I was out here maybe 3 weeks ago. I didn't film it, but I was making a Swedish torch. I'm going to make that again. But here again, this is what I found out. When you come out here and you try to do too many things, and then my SD card went out, so I was never able to post the video. But I was making the Baker tarp shelter, and I was also making a Swedish torch. As a matter of fact, here is one of the logs, because I basically what you do, you take this and you cut it into quarters, and you take once you cut it into quarters, you're going to trim out some of the middle, and you're going to tie the bottom up with a bank line, and this fire will last a long time. But I wasn't able to do it because my SD card crashed out on me. But today I wanted to focus on the fire pit. Again, with the fire pit, always keep a shovel. Wow, that was strange. I heard something. It's like very, very strange, but it was the shovel. I don't know if you guys can hear that. I always keep a shovel and water with me near the fire. Even though I have a nice fire pit, I don't want to take a chance of the fire getting out of control. But yeah, the fire is really going down. But that's fantastic because again, I also cooked. I always cook when I come out into the bush. Cooking over a campfire, you have to learn because again, you don't have the fancy knobs that you do at home, for your gas and electric range. So, trying to let it go down to coals and things like that. Just learning how to cook. I mean, I've even seen some people cook on rocks. So, that's another skill. Cooking when you're out in the bush. Hope you're doing good. Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. Hey, JK, survival. Enjoy the woods. Yeah, man. It's nice being out here. Like I said, I've had company from out of town for the holidays, and they're gone, and the house is quiet. So it's just like time for me to get back on my routine. And plus, I really miss it when I don't do it. But I want to do more this year. I know I'm capable of doing it. I just have to do it. I think the main thing is finding the time. Um, so again, I want to start doing some two nighters, staying overnight 2 nights. And again, like I said, doing it, staying overnight 1 night by myself. I don't know about other people, but I know it's a challenge. But my challenge is just if you're by yourself, you're up all the time, you're feeding that fire. What I've learned is that I would come out here a weekend prior to and just start harvesting wood and processing it so that I wouldn't have to worry about that when I did come out for the overnighter. So yeah, two guys in the Ozark. Oh, okay. How you doing, man? Yeah, I definitely appreciate all you guys coming in, man. Hey, you leave me some comments and tell me, some things that I can learn or what I can improve upon, you know. But and the amazing thing is that I don't bring a coat into the bush. I just don't. I mean, I also have a bivy with me. It's a My Lord bivy, uh, and it's warm. It's warm. I have used it at meetups, um, but I think it's the temperature is like maybe 23. But when you're pulling wood, harvesting wood, processing wood, chopping wood, splitting wood, you think it's like 40 degrees, but and with the fire going down, I can tell it. But yeah, try Siberian fire. Yeah, Siberian fire. Um, it lessons to maintain and time needed to keep a fire going all night. Yeah, that's right. That's Siberian fire. You basically have a long log, and then you have about 5 logs coming together. And see, that's another thing that's on my agenda. Like I said, it's just so many things to do that it's never ending. But yes, it's Siberian fire. I've watched this guy do it, and I kept saying, and I think even with the log, I have a very, very long log over there, which I'm going to save because I'm coming back to this same spot because there's just so much fat wood here. And even when I leave, sometimes I'll just take a piece of wood with me. And what I found out, I mean, I have a lot of wood in my garage, but honestly, the wood that I have in my garage would probably last me 1 night. 1 night, and that's about it. You're not going to get too much wood into a 1 car garage. You got your fishing equipment in there, your hunting equipment, your vehicles in there. So you're not going to get too much wood in a 1 car garage. But and it's good to have that wood. Cause sometimes I just want to go in my backyard and practice. There's always something to practice. You want to test out a knife. Like testing out those Scandinavian grind knives. Those are some very good knives too. Scandinavian grind knives. Um, if you guys, I'm sure you know what they are, but they may have a flat edge, and it just goes, and then it has a flat edge, and then it just has one bevel, and it just goes together at a 0 degree angle. But some guys will actually put a micro bevel on that angle, but I won't. But what I noticed about my Scandinavian, I have a Condor Terrasaw. I call you have to keep it maintenance because there is no micro bevel on that. and I have a Condor Wayfinder, which is a very good knife. And I have a cold steel that I bought many years ago. It's more or less a stick tang. The blade doesn't go all the way through, but with the other two condors that I have, they're full tang and they do have pommels. And that's the thing I like. I like knives that have pommels. You know, it shows that that metal goes all the way through. But I started to bring out my Becker BK2, but I said, you know, since I did a video on this recently, I just wanted to go out and try it, you know. And I've been looking at these tanto blades, and why did I ever see the Tops Anaconda? Anaconda. That is on my bucket list. You know, I mean, it's pricey. Condor makes a good knife. Yeah, I even have a Condor Mountain Pass knife, 7 inch, fantastic. But Condor, I have another two more Condor kukris, King Kukri Machete, the King Kukri Machete. Check that out. I'm going to bring that out. And when I bring out the King Kukri Machete, I won't be bringing an axe or a hatchet because that thing is a chopper. The other kukri that I have from Condor is the heavy duty knife. That thing is just a beast also. I mean, you can do debarking with it, you know. I mean, the kukri, you can do anything with a kukri. Um, but that's why I like to just every weekend, I want to bring out a different knife. Um, I do have a Bud K2 kukri. Um, Very good, but the spine on the butt K, it is not a 90 degree, so you're not going to be striking any ferrocerium rods unless you follow that. But follow the back spine. But I'm not going to because the Bud K2 is not made. I think that's more of a defensive weapon. Well, all the kukris are, but I don't like to alter things, so I'm just going to leave it as is. Um, let's see, and then I have something from another big box store, a kukri. It's very interesting. It has the belly portion of it is flat, and then it has a hollow grind. I've brought that out a couple of times, and you know, any knife at any price would do its job if you do your job. Now with this one, I did some feather sticking earlier. It's not going to do the best feather sticking, but if you just know, well, that broke, so uh, this is too wet. But with any knife, I need to be stable, a little bit more stable. But with any knife, you can do any task, you know. But yeah, guys, I just wanted to come out here and chat with you guys and see how everyone's doing. Um, just trying to encourage everyone, man. If you're a bushcrafter, get out in that bush, man. You're gonna learn. You're gonna learn what you don't know. And one of the amazing things is that every time I leave the bush, it just you put something else on your bucket list. You know, um, now that the gentleman just mentioned the sweet, wow, it's so cold that my hands are starting to freeze up. That the Siberian fire, I've seen it. I've said I'm going to do it. I just haven't. I've done the Swedish torch before, but I want to perfect it. Always great. Yeah. Let's see. I can't see. KL Coffee First. Yeah. Yeah. It's just. It's always something to learn. It's always something to learn, and that's the fun part and interesting part. You know. Um, I don't know. I'm sure you guys have heard me say before. I went to the Georgia Bushcraft. That was in was it? It was in November, and the things you learn there, it's amazing because you get to really speak with people that have been doing bushcraft in a long time. You get to speak with people that's been on a long, and you hear their experiences. And I'm hearing their experiences. It's like, and I'm talking about me just staying one night, and you listen to them. They're out there for like 30 days. You know, that's really self-reliance right there. But will I ever do a 30-day? I'm not gonna say I will, but I'm pretty sure I won't. I'm just happy being able to get out in the bush whenever I can, and do an overnight whenever I can. But yeah, my fire is going out. I wanted to go out, but for you guys who just came in, this is my fire pit. I don't know how well you can see it, but it is pretty deep, because I really wanted to concentrate on a fire pit, man, making it safe, burn around it. You can also use rocks. But I remember when I first started, I would never make a fire pit, and I was with one guy, and he started making a fire pit. I'm thinking to myself, why would you be making a fire pit? Just put the logs down and clear the leaves. But I see the benefit of a fire pit now. Ever since then, I'm always going to make a fire pit. Yeah, elusive. Since I'm around mountains now, I can't wait to get out there. Yeah. What's the? You know what? Prepared oxygen. Yes, it was frozen. But you know what? It was but I took the shovel and I just started outline. I took the shovel and just started. I made like a square outline, and then I went into the middle of it and I would stab down and twist to loosen up the soil. But yeah, it was frozen. I kept saying, man, I don't want to dull my shovel. But yeah, it was. But hey, that's the fun part. I like the challenges. I really, but this is so strange. It's just that my hands, it's so cold that my hands are like freezing up. But I remember many times, being hunting, being up in the tree stand for so long. One thing I would do, of course, you have your gloves on and you have the hand warmers. Just open your hands and stretch them. Wow, and I can feel the difference already. Yeah, I can feel the difference already. But yeah, but these are the leather gloves I have with me. I always wear leather gloves when I'm going to do any type of cutting, saw, hatchet, anything. And the thing about these leather gloves, they're very cold when you first put them on, but after about 2 minutes, they warm up pretty well. And for using the fire, yeah, this is they're real good. Having some leather. I want to say these are either. I think these are deer skin. I'm not sure, cow or deer. But for hot items when cooking, yeah, they come in handy, real handy. But also use when I'm dealing with cooking, I'll use these along with the bandana. That's another subject. I've been reading up on bandanas. There's I read about 50 things that you can use a bandana for. One of the things you can use a bandana for, let me just show you this. This is my walking staff. I always bring this into the bush. Always, 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 always bring this into the bush with me. It's basically a cold steel knife. Now, I have another one at home that's larger than this. If I go into the bush and there's 3 people, a minimum of 3 people, both of these are coming into the bush with me. And the purpose of bringing both of them in the bush will be to use as a stretcher if necessary. If you take 2 of these, put them together, along with bandanas wrapped in the middle and on each end, or paracord, if one member gets injured to the point that you have to help take them out of the woods, you have just created a stretcher by having two walking staffs. But I bring this one in when you're walking uphill and you got a 50-pound rucksack. It's very helpful. Also, in the summertime, I can take this and sweep leaves, or before I step over a log, for snakes or anything like that. This walking staff also comes with a ferrocim rod. I've actually used it to, make a fire, but and it's I keep it sharp. It's very sharp, but it's made by cold steel. Can be used as a knife. But when I saw it, I knew exactly what I was going to do with it. And this pole is just basically a closet rod. That's all it is. And I just trimmed it down. So, but yeah, you can actually make a stretcher with two of these. So if I go into the bush and there's a minimum, if there's three guys, three ladies, guys or lady or whatever, I'm bringing both of them along with the large bandanas to make a stretcher in the event. Hope we never have to, but if we have to carry them out or they carry me out, at least there will be something to carry. Of course, you will have the edges. I have a sheet that goes on here, and my other one I have a sheath as well. So you can actually use this as a stretcher. And the good this is I think it's a, let me just see. It's about 6 feet. My other one is close to 7.5 feet. But yeah, these are things that ideas you hear from other bushcrafters. I'm even making. I have a frog gig. Um, I'm going to put a rod on that and use that as. Now, what am I going to do with a frog gig? I don't know. Someone can use it, but it's just the fact that that is something that you can use when you are in the bush. You don't have to necessarily use it for frogs, but now this at night, if you get a stubborn raccoon or something like this, maybe this will help make them leave or something like that. But another thing I'm going to get is going to be some bear spray. I think that works on any animal, and I think that's just something good to have with you in the bush. My hesitation so far has been, how long does bear spray last? How long is it good? And I saw some guy using some bear spray that he had for 10 years, and he was just testing it out. And he had several cans. And they were all good, except for one of them. Something was wrong with the nozzle. But all of them worked pretty well. So, yeah, bear spray is something on my list. So I'm looking at, I'm not in danger, yeah. Never tried that Orzok. It'll give a, yeah, I mean, Orzok, I have a fixed blade knife. It's an Orzok trail that I carry, let's see, what horizontal carry in the front. The sheet, and I took some leather, and even though it's a $5 knife, it's steel, and of course it has a portion of it is serrated edge. And again, I am a fan of serrations. I'm going to be buying a cold steel knife, and the entire blade is serration. Serrations does so many good things. Even on my, let's see here. On my multi-tool, one of my favorite blades, serration. Serration seems like it just cuts anything. And this one also has, I think every multi-tool has a saw. This one has a saw. Bottle opener. Let's see. This one also has a flat, a common screwdriver. Uh, on the other side, a file that if I had to, I can sharpen my axe. But I always carry a file with me anyway. Uh, Phillips screwdriver, a pair of scissors that I really don't find much use for because I have knives. But nevertheless, and of course, it has a blade that is sharp. I keep it sharp. I like keeping my blades sharp. I mean, if I had a piece of paper, the way I test it, I take 2 fingers, I put it here, and if I can just slice and cut the paper, my knife is sharp. But this is a multi-tool from a big box store. But I use this a lot every time I come out here because when I want to remove my tent pegs, I don't want to pull on the tarp. So I just take the pliers and pull the tent peg right out. So I use this every time I come out here. I've used it to cook with. But yeah, I definitely, and I keep one in each vehicle as well. But multi-tools are something very, very good to have. But guys, I think my fire is probably to the point that I can go ahead and douse some water on it. But hey, it's been fun just sitting here chopping it up with you guys. So hey guys, when you go into the bush, post it. I just want to see people. I watch so many people that go into the bush, but hey, I would love to see you guys as well. So if you guys go into the bush, hey, come back, let us know because that's how we learn. I learned so much. Sometimes I'll get some comments, and I think I really don't agree with them. But when you think about it, you have to value everyone's comment. And sometimes you just learn. You just learn from their comments, because nothing is 100% right, nothing is 100% wrong. So just remain a student and value the comments. I really do. I mean, every time I get a comment, I'm going to respond. I'm looking to learn. What is it that I don't know? They always, they will always convey something good. Have you thought about this? Try this. I don't think that makes sense. And, it may say, that's not a good idea. But think about why they're saying that. And sometimes people give their reasonings why they say what they say, which is good. So, guys, I'm not going to hold you much longer. I'm going to go ahead and put out the fire, fully put out the fire. And then I'm going to pack up and head out. And I'm going to look forward to next Saturday or Sunday to get back into the bush. And my next objective is to make the Swedish torch. I have to make the Swedish torch and the Siberian fire. And I also have to make a star fire. If you guys are not familiar, check out the star fire. It's just another fire where you kind of make the sticks in the shape of a star and you just constantly feed them in, feed them in, feed them in. So, yeah, those are some of the things. But remember, when it comes to fire, water, and shelter, you must master those 3 things. And have I fully mastered them? No, I haven't, because I have not done the bow drill or the hand drill. When I do the bow drill and the hand drill and the plow point drill, then I can say I am mastering firecraft. Until then, I'm going to keep working on it. All right, guys, so take care. Enjoy the rest of the day. Enjoy those football games. And I'm going to go ahead and diligently put out this fire, pack up, and head out. Hey, this is Virginia Bushcrafter. Thumbs up, everyone. Take care. I'll see you on the next one.